When we think about policies, the first question we have to ask is, why do we need policies? Imagine you're in a boardroom meeting to discuss the future of your company. The company has been on a downward trend. See the left chart. And the team wants to identify how to enable the upward trend, the red line on the right chart. Some might say we need to grow the company through increased investment, and some might say we need to cut costs so that we can turn a profit. Both of these plans might work. But what do you think of this one? What if we don't change at all and something magical just happens? When we relate this thinking to energy efficiency, consider that there's significant cost-effective energy efficiency potential that's not being realized. What happens if we do nothing? Will that magically increase the market adoption of energy-efficient buildings? As we'll explain in this lesson, experience shows that a package of energy efficiency policies is needed to significantly increase investment in energy efficiency. So why is this the case? The first reason we need policies for energy efficiency in buildings is to bridge the efficiency gap. The efficiency gap is when stakeholders, such as designers, developers, and owners, make decisions that fall short of achieving the cost-effective energy efficiency potential in buildings. There are many barriers that often lead to this outcome. These barriers fall into 5 general categories. We have awareness barriers, including where stakeholders don't have enough information to evaluate the costs and benefits of different options. We have technical barriers, where there's a lack of technical background to understand and evaluate the options. There are institutional barriers, which might be policies that prevent or complicate reaching for more energy-efficient solutions. Or these might be barriers inherent to the conflicting incentives between different parties, like landlords, tenants, and builders. We see financial barriers, including a lack of access to finance or awareness of how to gain such access. And finally, we see market barriers, which can include everything from lack of information and high discount rates applied to energy efficiency measures, to access to efficient products or services in a given market. Energy efficiency policies and programs are an important element in bridging the efficiency gap by overcoming many of these barriers. These policies include building codes, energy efficiency targets, awareness-raising campaigns, incentives, energy company obligations, and capacity building programs. The second main reason we need energy efficiency policies for buildings is to enable market transformation, leading to an evolution over time to more buildings that are more efficient. In this simple market transformation curve, we see that there is a range of efficiencies from left to right in any given point in time. The x-axis indicates time, and the y-axis illustrates the number of buildings. On the left side, early in time, we find the buildings that are least efficient. For markets where there are mandatory minimum standards, such as building codes or appliance standards, the buildings on the left side are performing below what can be legally purchased or developed in the market today. Often these are older buildings, or maybe buildings with older appliances and systems. In every market, a portion of legacy buildings, appliances, and equipment can be found. In the middle, we have the vast majority of buildings, which meet a certain level of minimum performance. They're compliant with the code, but not more efficient. On the right, we see the market leaders, the net zero buildings, passive houses, and other innovative buildings and technologies. To enable market transformation, that is, to help move the market to more efficient buildings, we have a series of enabling policies. The first of these enabling policies are core mandates, or what some refer to as the sticks of regulation. These are codes, standards, or mandatory disclosure requirements that can move the least efficient buildings further to the right. and set a base level of efficiency that's required for new construction and new appliances. For these regulations to be effective, strong policy implementation and enforcement are needed to verify that the buildings are in fact complying with these mandatory policies. The second of these enabling policies are information policies, which some refer to as tambourines or other loud noisemakers that can get people's attention. Tambourines can push the buildings to be more efficient than the minimum level allowed by law through information sharing so that stakeholders, such as consumers, designers, and even policymakers, are able to make more effective decisions on the cost-effective energy efficiency options. Information policies include capacity building, this might be training or formal education, awareness campaigns, and product labels that share data and information on the benefits and cost impacts over the life of the product or building. The third of these enabling policies are incentives, or what some refer to as carrots. Like a carrot dangling in front of a horse, incentives can entice the market to move forward. The most effective carrots are designed to move buildings to high levels of efficiency and should not be used to meet minimum efficiency levels. Incentives include both financial incentives and non-financial incentives. Financial incentives can include direct financial contributions, such as rebates and tax breaks, to make the efficient building more cost-effective. Financial incentives can also include enabling better financing terms or access to financing through energy efficiency loans. These can be enabled by loan guarantee policies. Non-financial incentives can include expedited permits, increased floor area allowances, or increased building height allowances for the most efficient buildings. We will see more examples of these kinds of policies further down in the course.